If you're on the replay, let me know down below. And I'm so excited to see you guys. And what I wanted to go through is overall when it comes to emotional detox. A lot of times we don't realize on how we have to emotionally detox from these narcissistic partners. And so I wanted to dive deep into that and seeing just kind of what's your thoughts are on it, if you have an emotional detox, and just kind of how that what experience is for you, right? And so I just want to welcome just to our safe space. We are in the Intentionally Thriving community over on Facebook. But if you're checking off on YouTube, hello, I'm Samantha. I am a therapist in trauma and toxic relationship recovery, expert and coach, helping you to break free from toxic narcissistic relationships. You can have authentic relationship with yourself and other people around you. And so I want you just to kind of think about if you ever left a conversation or a relationship or after getting off the phone and you feeling drained, like your energy was just sucked out of you. If yes, then you might have experienced a narcissist impact. And a lot of times what happens is that you can tell because how you feel after the conversation, you just feel out of it and exhausted is when you need when is this when you know you need this emotional detox. So, right, today we're diving deep into emotional detox, a critical step to healing after surviving narcissistic abuse. And so I really wanted to go over this because first we have to demystify narcissistic abuse, okay? Because we don't realize and how dealing with a self-centered person, it's really a lot of it is about survival manipulation, guilt tripping, and belittlement used as tools of control over you, right? Or over if you see someone else happening to them, to over them as well. And so, what I want you to understand is that narcissistic abusers may make you feel like like you're always in the wrong, or they blame everything on you, that the world would crumble without them, that they make it seem like they're just this overall, we call it grandiose in like the psychology world, but just this overall powerful person that feels like they just have all this power over you when they really do not. And when I tell you I've been there, and this is why I do the work that I do, and why I'm, setting up with different events and retreats. We have a retreat in June 2024, The Great Escape, where we're really going to take time to dive deep into pouring into you. Because what happens in a lot of these relationships is that we're so used to kind of being in a state of chaos and feeling like we have to, and anxiety, and feeling like we have to just overperform at times when it comes to people or prove ourselves, that we don't allow ourselves to have a time to just escape. And so the Great Escape is going to be in 2024 in Tulum, Mexico for a 5-day retreat. If you have any questions about it below, it's going to be in June 5th through the 9th. And I definitely want you to be there. You can email me more about it if you want to find more about it. And what it is that you'll put a deposit down, which will cover your activities at first. Your deposit will cover that, and the activity that will be at the facility, and then you can just you pay off on your trip. So I'm really excited about it. It is a trip that is affordable. It depends on what you get, but it's between 1,700 and 25. And that's if you get the upgraded, is 2,500. But what it is, it's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of healing, a lot of connecting. I'm only can take about 7 people. It just wanted to be a small, intimate group. That's just kind of, if been to one of my events, that's just how I do things. I want to be able to see on where you guys are from and who's here. You don't tell me your name if you don't want to, but I want to see exactly where you're calling in from, or not calling in, but where you're coming in from. As I kind of continue because I want to make sure I get all this information in here for you guys. So when I tell you that it took me time to understand what was happening after this kind of narcissistic abuse, but once I did realize what was happening, and I was at this space of wanting to heal, because there was a time where I just was so focused on being, all I knew was chaos. All I knew was being hurt. So I didn't know any step towards healing at all. Like I really had to go through trenches of finding out what that looked like after the type of relationship. And so first I want to dive into what emotional detox and what that even means. So when I'm talking about emotional detox, just like our bodies, our mind and soul need cleansing through the negative emotions, thoughts and painful memories, it's particularly essential after narcissistic abuse, helping you recover and regain your emotional balance, right? And like I was talking about before, it's as if you're being drained from this person and trying to find a break, something where you can just recharge yourself after dealing with someone. And this could be over the phone. Have you been in these positions where you've been on the phone with somebody and it's just been exhausting? That is what I'm referring to. So now I'm going to walk through some of the steps when it comes to working through the emotional detox. And step one is just awareness, right? I want you to be aware of when you're feeling that way. Like I talked about earlier, notice when you're feeling exhausted. Notice when you cannot be just yourself afterwards. Notice on the times where you, after you have a conversation with a person, you start to get agitated or irritated. Like those are signs, the fact that you're dealing with someone who is narcissistic, one, or just unhealthy, and just being aware of what is going on during that time. So this step is kind of really difficult to just kind of be aware and acknowledge of what's happening and that you need just to help yourself to recharge emotionally. But you can start by just sometimes just writing your feelings out and journaling those down, writing down instances that made you feel uncomfortable, even when you were having the conversation. Was it some things that triggered you, what they were saying that really got you to the point where you wanted to get off the phone? Did you find yourself freezing when they were getting upset at you and you felt like you couldn't get off the phone? Like really finding what those uncomfortable parts are, or the parts where you felt like you diminished a little bit of your self-worth, right? This is the hard part at first, being aware when these things are happening. Also, what I want you to do, step two, is I need you to be able to seek support. One thing that I really thought I had to do was do this on my own. And that was the most painful experience because when when I realized it was a narcissistic situation, that there was felt like nobody understood what I was talking about. And even when we try to go to therapy, there are a lot of therapists who do not understand narcissistic abuse. So they just would side with the partner. So I felt like I couldn't trust therapists at the time. And this is why I went really in finding about narcissistic abuse, how to heal from it, because I knew what it felt like to go in place and the narcissistic person take over where they think that something's wrong with you because they're charming them in this session. And I wanted to be able to offer a safe place to help people understand that you are not alone, that there's people out there that do this. And I completely understand what you're talking about because something that I have been through. And if you have worked with me one-on-one, you understand that it's not something that you have to do alone, or should you? Because a lot of times you don't understand you feel like you're going crazy, you feel like all these things are happening. And so I want you to connecting with, I want you to understand that connecting with others is truly healing. Okay, so I want you to join a support group, whether it's my Hey It's Not You membership or my Pain to Peace Academy. If you're starting the process of just learning about narcissistic abuse and how to work from it, but also if you can start therapy or share with a trusted friend that you feel like would not judge you for what's happening and understand and not just side with the person if they do know them, but really hear you, it's going to be important. So I really want you to seek support. And don't forget that we also about our Pain to Peace Academy, where we have built a supportive community, went for those that are coming are just learning about narcissistic abuse and still in that first beginning steps of healing process. That is where Pain to Peace Academy comes in. With my higher group, as far as they work through things, they have been doing the work, but need that maintenance. Maybe it's between one-on-one sessions, they need maintenance to kind of maintain the skills they have, but don't feel like they need that as extensive as one-on-one. I definitely would recommend on going to the Hey It's Not Just You membership, where those women have been doing the work. When I tell you we maintain exactly the state that you're in, know that you have support in between the weeks. Know that we have our bi-weekly sessions, our in-person meetings. That's the only time you'll find me in person is through my community, my membership, or through my events. That's the only time you find me in person. But also we have the virtual and in-person events to be able to just overall have that community and know that you're not alone, which is really, I find is really helpful and important, especially because a lot of times what happens, a lot of us tend to go to the narcissistic person, back to the narcissistic person, or having the same type of relationship over and over and over, something like that. And so, next, I want you to really take the time to take care of yourself, to recharge. So, this could look like saying no to something that you really don't want to do. If you want to do something that's more luxurious, of course, you can do a spa day at home. You want to do some yoga sessions or even cooking your favorite meal, like being able to take care of yourself, because a lot of this is going to be pouring into you, which is going to be really important to being able to take the time to do that. So finding moments to recharge and treat yourself right. Remember, self-care is not a luxury, but it's something that is necessary, especially after a draining conversation. Okay, so also what I want you to do, and I'll say this last thing, is just I want you to have an emotional expression. And that could look like just drawing whatever comes to mind. It can look like, writing a letter of release, which is like writing a letter to the person who hurt you, but not sending the letter. I'm not recommending you send it. I'm not saying that. But writing it out, being able to have a physical break of this letter. So if either when it's tearing it up or burning it in a safe place or burying it or symbolizing your release from these negative emotions, because of course, holding onto negative emotions can be really toxic. And this is if you find it is really bothering you. And know that you have your boundaries in place as well, which you talked quite a bit in my other videos. If you can't find them, you find them on YouTube. So you can have access to all the videos I do every Wednesday. But I want you to realize that you can be able to establish your boundaries if you feel like it's too much. So, say if you have a phone call and you look at the phone and you are just feeling dreadful over looking at this phone because who the person who's calling, understand that you do not have to pick up the phone. You don't have to do that. What you can do is just understand that it's you letting yourself know that I'm gonna wait until I'm in a better mental space to be able to answer the phone, to be able to pick up this phone, and know that it's okay to do that. Okay. So, of course, an emotional detox isn't a quick fix. It's a journey of allowing yourself to be aware, allowing yourself to you take care of yourself, to recharge, to do something for you, to kind of take a break, watch something funny, do something that would help you kind of recharge yourself after having a difficult conversation, and just allowing yourself to just take a breather, okay? And just like any journey, it starts with a single step, right? Just doing a 1% better, something 1% better for yourself. And that could be taking a walk, it could be doing just something for you. Know that I'm here to support you. Of course, share this video with anyone who you feel it could benefit from it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you found this helpful. Remember that you are stronger than you think, and I am super proud of you. Okay, we'll talk soon. Any questions, please let me know.